We are going to go over some important market news right now. We are going to go over your stock picks. I'm sorry I don't have a normal video for you guys tonight, but unfortunately my family is sick, and so I've been spending a lot of time just trying to take care of them. So we don't have the normal video, but we do have a live stream. So be thinking about what stocks you guys want to cover and talk about and discuss. We'll give people 1 minute to get in here. If you could just let me know in the comments, can you hear me? Is the audio and the video okay? Let me know in the comments if you guys can hear me, and then we'll get started. See, I don't see anything in the comments. Let's see what's going on here. I'll just chat. Oh, yeah, I have a yes. You can hear me. Great. Thank you so much. Perfect. Thank you, guys. Appreciate all the well wishes, the prayers, everything. Really appreciate it. Hold off any requests for just 1 minute. We're going to go over the market news real fast, and then I want to give you a quick update on the channel and some other things, and then we'll go ahead and talk about your stocks. So first of all, getting over to the market news, stock futures are, they're kind of flat right now. They're up a little bit. But the main thing to know is that there are two very important events that are happening this week. One is happening on Tuesday and one's happening on Wednesday. So on Tuesday, Jerome Powell is going to be speaking. Now, he has been nominated to, remain as Fed chair, and he most likely will. But when he speaks at his nomination, we're going to be really listening intently to see what he says about what his plans are for 2022 and how he plans to affect interest rates and the bond assets and all this stuff. So Tuesday is going to be a really big day. Now, normally when Jerome Powell speaks to Congress, he is very dovish. He is just basically saying a lot of things to try to come out and get nominated and get through the whole process and make everything work out well. So I don't expect him to be like, oh, we're going to go out and raise interest rates. If anything, he's probably going to say some things that are pretty positive that could cause the markets to rise on Tuesday. Now, the second big news that we got to look out for is on Wednesday, and that is the CPI inflation numbers, or what's known as the Consumer Price Index. So the Consumer Price Index is what's mainly used for inflation numbers. Currently, it is expected to be the highest that we've had in over 30 years. We are expecting Wednesday's inflation numbers to be the highest of all of 2021. They're going to be the December inflation numbers. Some of the reasons is lumber costs went back up, energy costs went back up, and just things like that. Used car prices did come down a little bit, so we'll have to see where the numbers kind of fall in line. But generally speaking, we're looking at some pretty bad inflation numbers on Wednesday. And just like the jobs report, if the inflation numbers come out and actually it'd be the opposite. If the inflation numbers come out, they're really bad, then that is going to be bad for the stock market, because that means the Fed is going to have to start raising interest rates a lot faster. And if the interest rate come out and the CPI numbers are a lot lower than expected, and it looks like inflation's coming down, well, that's going to be really good for the stock markets, because that means the Fed won't quite have to raise interest rates as fast. So that's what's going on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. Really important news. Let's go on now, and I want to do a quick channel update. A couple of things. First of all, I do want to thank everybody that joined the Discord. We have 1,110 or 11, over 1,000 members in 10 days. So that's just amazing. Thank you, everyone who joined the Discord. I can't believe we have over 1,000 members in 10 days. I'm just blown away. So if you want to join it, you can go to stockcurry.vip/Discord. You do have to apply to get in, but I mean, everybody who applies gets in. The only reason I have the application there is because I'm just trying to prevent some scammers. That's really it. But if you apply, you're going to get in. It's just to prevent scammers. And then, of course, the Lucrum Investing Discord. Oh, I got to show this to you guys. This is on the Lucrum Investing Discord. They list grades. So every week they go and they look at how the analyst did, whether they made money, lost money, whatever. You got to look at this. So for this, I don't know if you can see it. I don't know how to blow this up, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know how to make this bigger. But Yeah, gosh, I wish I could make it bigger. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do here. Can I? There we go. Okay. Can you guys see that now? Hopefully you guys can see that now. Um, but on here, what is these reports? And this is absolutely amazing. Look at this, guys. For all of the trades that were done this week, you got 9 trades, 10 trades, 2, 22. You guys can see them all. Look at the win rates. Look at the P&L overall. You got Ace made 84%, 63%, 28, 54, 255%. In fact, of everybody, there was only one person that lost money. Every single person made money. Let me see if I can pull this up and show you guys. Nope. There he goes. Okay. So every single person who was an option analyst, with the exception of one person, made money last week. They are killing it over there. On average, it's 46%. And of course, you can follow along with all their trades. If you are at all interested in that, you just got to go to the Discord, stockcurry.vip/Discord. And what that will do is that will allow you to sign up over here. And there's a 7-day free trial. So that's what's up with that. And one more thing is I am also on Rumble now. So if you guys want to go over to Rumble, it's just rumble.com/stockcurry. I was trying to get this live stream up on Rumble, but there's some setup issues I ran into, but don't worry about it. Next live stream I do, it will be on Rumble also. So, so if you're trying to get off of YouTube or whatever, you can go over there. And then the one last final thing I do want to say is coaching will be launching sometime in the next few days. But 3 days we're going to be launching coaching. And when we do, basically that's going to give you additional access to the what is it called? The Discord. It gives you like all these additional channels. You will get direct coaching with me. You'll have weekly 1-hour coaching calls where we will help you through your trades and things. And the other thing, though, is I don't know if you guys see this on the screen, this do not sign up yet. Guys, please don't sign up for this yet. The connections are not completed. And if you sign up right now, you're going to be paying me money for nothing. So please don't sign up. Just wait. Be patient. Unfortunately, there's like 5 or 6 people that already signed up and they literally have nothing. They're just paying me for nothing. So please don't sign up yet. I will let you know when coaching is available. And once coaching is available, then you can sign up. All right. So hopefully that clears up everything there. We're done. Let's get into your stock picks. I'm just going to ask you guys if you have any questions on market news or channel news, whatever. And then obviously everybody wants to hear about AMC. So we'll start with AMC. But let me just go through the comments and see if there's anything else I need to address. And then we'll get into stock picks. Yeah, thank you everybody for the well wishes for the family. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Istanbul, welcome. Thank you again for the well wishes. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, definitely it is. I'm not really sure what's going to happen this week. We'll see. The market's finished up pretty bullish, or bearish, I mean, at the end of the week, which is why I decided to hold the put options we had overnight. If you look at this daily chart, the QQQ closed below the 100-day EMA on Friday, and that is very, very bearish. So I don't know what's going to happen. The futures are up right now. I think the stock market will probably be up on Tuesday when Jerome Powell speaks, but who knows? I have no clue. Right now, the technicals are bearish, so I decided to hold on to the QQQ puts. But even if the market does go up Tuesday, it'll probably tank again on Wednesday once those CPI numbers come out. All right. Yeah, guys, please, hit the like button, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and if you are on Twitter, go ahead and follow along. Do I think we'll still have a bull run before the highly anticipated bear market? Okay, so this is what you got to understand. When I originally said that at the end of December, what I was looking at was this chart here, and I'm seeing a bounce off of resistance, a bounce off of resistance. And I'm thinking, you know what? Everything at that point, anyway, everything at that point was 100% bullish. And it really, really, really looked like we were going to have a breakthrough here. We were going to rise up. And then at some point, probably in February, March, rise down and have that bear market. And instead, I mean, it started out that way Monday, but then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I mean, Tuesday did a complete 180. I was shocked. And then by Wednesday, we were 100% in bear territory. So I don't even know anymore. What I said last week or 2 weeks ago, rather, it doesn't even apply. I'm just playing this day by day right now. I have no idea what's going to happen in the markets. That's one thing about a bear market. I do want to let you guys know, in case you've never traded in a bear market before, is you have no clue what's going to happen. Stocks will literally go up and down. You'll have these 2-3 weeks where the stock's going up. You think the whole market is bottomed out. It's rebounding. It's April 2020 all over again. And then out of nowhere, it'll just turn around, start going back down and reach a new low. It's crazy. Where's I got to go find this period in 2008. Hold on. We're at 13, 12, 9, 8. Here we go. So this was November 2007. So here's what happens. Think about this. If you're in the market, right? You're rising along. It's 2007. You're hitting new highs. Everything's great. And then you get this little dip, right? A little correction. Nothing too much. Just a little correction here. It starts rising back up. You think, great, market corrected. We're ready to keep going back up. And then it does another little dip. And then it drops even further. And you're like, okay, well, that was weird, but hey, we're below 300-day EMA, so we got to be bullish on the technicals now, right? And then it goes down even lower, and you're like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And then we get a double bottom. We get this little W here, and you think, great, we're going to turn around. We're going to start going back up now. I'll make this bigger so you guys can see it. And then we just go flat for a while. You're like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And then you get this rebound, and you're like, okay, finally, it's March 2008. We bottomed out. We're rebounding. We're going bullish again. Everything is great. We're going to be 100% bullish. This is great. We finally rebounded. We've got, months on end now where the market's just rising. New bull run. Everybody's happy. Life is great. And then all of that sudden, out of nowhere, it just goes down. And then we get another little dip back up, and then down, and then down, and then down. And then you guys get the idea. I mean, it will drive you nuts. A bear market will drive you absolutely insane. So just be ready for it. You're never going to know what's going to happen. You're going to think we're at the end. We're in a new bull run. It'll just flip on you and start going back down. You'll think, it's just going to go down forever, and it'll flip on you and go up for 2 straight months. Like, we just don't know. It's just kind of the way bear markets work. They're wild. They're volatile. They're extremely difficult to predict. If you're going to make money in a bear market, you either have to do very short-term trading, like day trading or 2 or 3 days at a time, or you got to do very long-term trading where you're just finding things that are really undervalued. You're buying them, you're just holding them. Because that if I pull up the monthly here, that you have something like this, 2008 dip. And look at the 2008 dip compared to where we are now. I'm going to turn off the EMAs. Here's the 2008 dip. That was the big bear market, the Great Recession. And look, it's like a blip on the radar when you compare it to where we are now. But during that time, it feels awful. It feels terrible. But if you will just hold your stocks, you find those long-term holds that are undervalued, you buy them, you hold them, you're going to make a ton of money. So those are the 2 ways that you can play a bear market: is very, very short-term trading or very long-term holding. Okay. Let's see what else we've got. Okay. Okay, so now let's go into the individual stock picks, and we will start with, let's see, why don't we start with AMC? Got my cryptos pulled up here too. So if you guys want to talk about crypto, we'll do that. Okay, AMC. Let me pull up the daily. And where's my EMAs? There we go. Okay. Obviously, there's no fundamental analysis to do on AMC, so we'll just pull up ORTX. We'll look at the short interest right now. We'll look at the technicals. So on AMC, as far as the technicals are concerned, well, it's extremely bearish. You've got the crossover of the death cross here on the MACD. You got the candles below all of the EMAs. It's just 100% bearish. But then again, so is every other stock. So let's go look at ORTX here and see if we can pull up AMC for you guys. And short interest. And what have we got? We've got utilization at 75%. Okay. It's been dropping. That's interesting. That's good. That means shorts are covering. But yeah, so short interest is 17%, still high. Days to cover 2.45, still obviously high. The only thing is that all that short covering, I think it was either tax loss harvesting or profit taking at the end of last year. The fact that we ended this on a December doesn't really tell me anything. So unfortunately, we just don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if utilization is going to skyrocket back up or if we're just going to continue on the downtrend. I really don't know. Really, really hard to predict this one. All I know for sure that I can really tell you is that technically AMC is bearish. Okay, let's see if there's others that people are asking a lot about. Yep, so we have request on EXPI. Let's take a look at that. And like most stocks, we are 100% bearish right now. Below all of the EMAs, death cross on the MACD, completely bearish. Let's see if we have any support levels here. You got this support level at $22, so still quite a bit of a drop. This is a little bit stronger support around 20, 21. So yeah, this doesn't look good. It looks like it's going to drop down to at least probably $20, $22 before it bottoms out. Personally, I'd stay away from it. LCID is a rather interesting little beast here. So LCID right now is obviously trading really high. I mean, it ran up 9% on Friday. I totally did not expect that. We bought put options on it. And the reason I bought the put option really has nothing to do with what the stock does this week. I really don't care what LCID does this week. What I care about is what's happening next week, because on January 19th, LCID is having their lockup expiration period. And the thing about LCID's lockup expiration period is the first lockup expiration period, which occurred back in, here it was, I mean, it's so obvious on the chart. It was right here on September 1st, and that was the PIPE investor lockup expiration. And I mean, you saw what happened. This thing went from 22 all the way down to 16 within a week. And so that's what happened the first time. Now, the amount of PIPE investors on this was like 15% as far as the total shares outstanding. What we have going on this time around is the early investors from before, when Lucid was actually called a different company. And those make up 74% of the total float. So I don't even know what the math on that would be. 75, 50, 5 times as many. So basically, the drop in price in LCD on January 19th could be 5 times larger than the drop in price back on September 1st, because there's 5 times as many people that could actually sell this thing. And I don't know if 5 times as many people will sell it. I just know 5 times as many people can sell it. So be on the lookout for that. That's extremely bearish, and we're going to be holding put options. And if we make enough money this week, if I make a lot of money this week, then come Monday, not this week, but Monday next week, we'll actually add another put option on LCAD. Okay, let's see. Got a couple of requests for DKNG. Let's take a look at that. And okay, so like I've talked about before on DKNG, is that it's kind of mixed on the technicals right now. You do got this rise in the MACD, which is good. You got a rise in the RSI, which is good. Green on the MACD histogram, which is good. That's all bullish. All this is bullish, but the candles are bearish. And the candles, unfortunately, are still below all the EMAs. And we also have this, whenever a stock drops below a support level, that now becomes resistance. So it's going to be hard for DKNG to get back above $28. I think we get a little bounce up to 28, and then we fall back down to 19. I like the company. I like how fundamentally it's becoming a lot more reasonable than it was back when it was in the 50s. And I said, if this thing gets down to $19, I'll buy it. So if DKNG gets down to $19, we'll be a buyer. So that's what's going on with that. Let's see what else we got. AMC we've already talked about. Lucid already talked about. EXP. A lot of, okay. I know quite a few people have asked about CHPT. So let's go ahead and do that one real fast. And for CHPT, well, same thing as most of these, falling knife. We got the candles below all of the EMAs, the candles below all of our support levels, the RSI dropping, the MACD dropping, the MACD histogram having forward death cross. It's 100% bearish. The other problem with CHPT, though, is, you know, I know it was trading at $50 back in, December last year. I get it. But just because it was trading at $50 doesn't mean it's going to get back there anytime soon. Prior to that big run up, it was trading at, well, this was a SPAC, so you had the $9, and then we kind of hovered around this $15 level for a while. So the thing about this is I could see it getting down to 15 or even lower. Fundamentally, we have a price sales ratio of 31. Not only is 31 high, 31 is double where most high growth stocks trade at. So literally, if CHPT dropped to $8, I would not be surprised, because at that point, it would be back to the fair valuation that most high growth stocks trade at. So just know that this still is overvalued even at $16, and I would not be surprised to see this thing drop down to 8. PLTR is another one that a lot of people are asking about. So let's go ahead and do this one. All right, PLTR, same thing, 100% bearish. We got a death cross on the MACD. We got the MACD histogram red. We got the RSI dropping. We got the candles below all of the EMAs. We got the candles below a strong support level. This is very, very, very bearish. Now, the thing about PLTR is that this has always been a long-term play. There are certainly people that will swing this for a long time. This was like a perfect swing from 20 to 28. We had the, swing here, swing here, swing here. I mean, this was a perfect swing for a long, long time. And I really wanted to swing this back up at this point right here. When we hit this $28 level, I was like, cool, all I need is a green candle and we're going to swing it back. And we never got the green candle. It was red, 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 till it crossed below the support level. At that point, the support level becomes resistance. As you can see, we had 2 green candles, could not get above the support level. We got there temporarily, but still closed below it, and then we just kept dropping. So it never became a good swing trade. At this point, all swing trading possibilities are out on PLTR, again, just because of the volatility we're dealing with right now. But fundamentally, you got to look at it. The price to sales ratio is still really high. It's at 27. It's still expensive. Everybody knows that. But price to earnings at 110, while that is expensive, given the long-term possibility of PLTR, it still might be one that you might want to dip by, dollar cost average into. I still think it's going to drop further just because it is very, very bearish right now. But long-term hold, I think it's a decent deal. It's not a great deal, certainly not a value stock, but decently priced. All right, let's talk about TSLA. So, all right, TSLA, this is one that we got screwed on our options. We bought this here thinking it was going to be completely and totally bullish, and it was for day one. And then Tuesday, the markets flipped on us and just went 100% bearish. TSLA should be trading a lot higher than it is right now. I think TSLA is mildly undervalued. Not a lot, but mildly. That said, if we look at the long-term trend line, I'm going to turn off the EMA so you guys can see this. TSLA has a long history of bouncing off of this blue long-term trend line. You guys can kind of see that here. I mean, it hits this, it rises above it a little bit, hits it, rises above it. So I wouldn't be surprised if over the next, maybe 2 or 3 months that we see TSLA get back down to the long-term trend line. Now, how far down it goes is really going to depend upon how long it takes to get there. If it happens quickly, we could be looking at, $860. If it takes a long time, we could be looking at $950. It really just depends. But you guys can go into Webull. You guys can see this. The long-term trend line is pretty obvious once you start drawing it. And then you can use that to kind of guess where TSLA might bottom out. But fundamentally, I think it's a fair deal right now. Not great, not a value stock, but also not super overly priced. I think it's, pretty fairly valued. But short term, I do think we'll keep dropping on it. I just don't know how low. Okay, let's see what else we got. Sydney, Australia in the house. Welcome. Thank you so much. Welcome from Sydney. Question here. What would you invest in? Financials, travel, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So real simple answer. I'm just going to pull up the homepage of Webull here. And I know that let me see if I can make this full screen because I think my camera is blocking it a little bit. There we go. So down in the bottom right-hand corner here, you can kind of see what's rising as the market overall is dropping. Uranium, transportation, metals and mining. Metals is, gold, silver, copper, things like that. Consumer goods, banking services, and what's not on here is healthcare. Oil and gas is only running up right now because of inflation. Drug retailing, and then healthcare should be on there as well. So those are the main things. You're talking metals, uranium, transportation, consumer goods, banking, healthcare. Essentially, the way you want to look at this is you're looking for anything that people will continue to buy no matter how expensive it gets. That's the key. So as inflation runs up, as interest rates run up, what will people continue to buy no matter how expensive it gets? Well, uranium is a little special use case because that's actually in a little bit of a short squeeze right now. But outside of that one, people are going to keep buying transportation services, right? People still need to fly to places. They still need to ride on buses to places. They still need to take taxis. Like transportation services are going to keep up. Metals and mining are going to keep up. People still need metals for infrastructure and building and cars and EVs and all this stuff. Consumer goods, obviously, people are going to keep buying toilet paper and toothpaste and toothbrushes and all those sorts of things. Banking services, people are going to keep, putting their money in the bank, and people are going to keep pulling out loans for houses and cars and whatnot. Oil and gas, people got to keep driving to work. You guys get the idea. Healthcare, people have to keep buying their drugs their prescription drugs and whatnot. So, well, I guess it's the other kind of drugs too. But anyway, you guys get the idea. It's all those things. Now, two little things that aren't on here I do want to let you know about is during a recession, let's say the Fed starts raising interest rates and they actually trigger a recession, which is very, very possible, could happen by the end of this year or next year. In that situation, there are two other things that tend to go way up during a recession, and that is gambling and alcohol. For some reason, gambling and alcohol, the two things that skyrocket, I guess because everybody feels bad because they lost their jobs and life just sucks and they just want to drink their worries away or gamble their worries away. I don't know, but gambling and alcohol are the two things that typically go up. So of course, anything like, your DraftKings or your pin gambling or anything like that would be things you might want to invest in, but only if we get a recession. Obviously, we're not there yet. All right, let's see. Talk about your Monday stock. No, go watch the video at 2 p.m. Eastern. Will you be playing earnings at all? No, I don't like playing earnings. They're just too volatile. You never know what's going to happen. To me, it's just a gamble. I don't like playing earnings. The one exception where I will play earnings is if people are expecting a major, major move in the stock and Option prices are just through the roof expensive. I might do an iron condor, which will make money so long as the stock doesn't move a lot, which more often than not will be a winning trade. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. Okay, let's see. Any others that people have like more than one question on? Okay, we already talked about all of those. Looking for anything else that people got more than one they're talking about. Let's see, you already talked about all those. Airline stocks. Are airline stocks such as UAL a good bet today, this week? I don't know. It's really going to depend upon what happens with the pandemic. Obviously, Omicron has been a lot less than people were afraid of. So clearly, we've seen these things rise up quite a bit. Airline stocks, we don't think we're going to get a lot of shutdowns. Should be pretty bullish. But you know what? I'm not going to Google. I'm never going to find it. Well, maybe I can. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get lucky enough to find this. Give me a second. There we go. New York Times article right there. A variant found in France is not a concern. Now, let me be very clear about why they said that. They said that quite simply because they don't have enough information on it yet. The variant is B.1.640.2. It was found in October. They were sequencing it. They've only found one case since December. But the reality is, just like every other new variant that comes out, they always find one case, right? And there's like, oh, it's only in this one country. And then a week later, it's like, oh, okay, well, now we have 20 cases. And 2 weeks later, it's like, well, now it's in 3 countries, because you can't stop it. I mean, this is a respiratory illness. You can't stop it. It's really endemic. I don't even know why we're still calling it pandemic. It's just like the flu or the cold. You know, a vaccine can lower your chances of going to the hospital. A vaccine can lower your symptoms, but it's not going to stop you from getting sick. Any new variants are going to spread worldwide. There's no stopping it. So, you know, the World Health Organization is basically coming out and saying, yeah, it's not really a big concern right now because we've only found one case. Reality is, what I read is I think we're up to 3 cases now. This thing's going to spread. And so even though nobody really cares about Omicron, we're going to have more new cases. It's going to come. I don't know when they're going to be announced, but they're coming. So I don't know. You just never know. I would maybe short-term trade it. You know, if cases like aren't that bad, buy it. If a new variant comes out, sell it. Really hard to say on airline stocks or any travel stocks, cruise lines, whatever. They're all really hard to say. Okay. Let's see here. Talked about most of those already. Talked about all those. Yeah, we can talk about banking stocks in general. Whether it's, you know, Citigroup or whatever. I'll just pull up FAS here. So one thing I've said in my videos before, and I'm just going to repeat it, banking stocks are going to be one of the best performing sectors this year. I don't know if they're going to be the best performing sector, but they're definitely going to be one of the best. And the reason is because as interest rates rise, banks make a lot more money on the loans that they lend out. And, you know, right now we got the Fed reverse repo rates. Are people, what are the banks? Over $1 trillion in Fed overnight repos? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, there's $1 billion out there, or $1 trillion, whatever it is. There's tons and tons of money out there that banks just don't know what to do with. But once interest rates rise and banks are actually able to make money on it, yeah, they're just going to make a ton of money. They're not making any money on their cash, I can tell you that. But when interest rates rise, banks are about to make a killing. We already saw banks pretty much double last year. And I guarantee you, we're going to see it happen again. We'll see 2021 was right here. So we went from a close of, what does this close at? 58.34 to 140. That almost, FAS is a 3x leveraged ETF, and this thing tripled in price last year. I would not at all be surprised to see FAS triple in price again this year. It would not shock me in the least. Regarding Citigroup and Goldman Sachs specifically, the two stocks I really like, Citigroup's got a forward PE ratio right now of 6.53, and Goldman Sachs has a forward PE ratio right now of 6.64. And that's why I like Goldman Sachs and Citigroup the best, is because they're the cheapest. So that's what's going on with this. Okay. Oh, a super chat. Well, thank you so much, John, for the super chat. You want to know about BJDX, and I said, okay, I don't know anything about BJDX. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about this. All I can tell you is technically it's 100% bearish. Uh, what is? Yeah, sorry, I don't know anything about it. All I know it's 100% bearish. But we can go look at SCNS. Senseonics, man. Yeah, this obviously technically pretty bearish, although I do like the fact that it is maintaining the 300-day EMA. That is one very good sign. I haven't looked at the news on this in a little while, but let's see what we got. What is this? Expects FDA decision in weeks. Really? Huh. We might have to do some options on this. 180-day decision is in a few weeks. Wow. So that's huge news. For those of you guys who don't know what Senseonics is they do diabetes glucose blood monitoring system that basically implants into the arm. And then rather than having to prick yourself multiple times a day, it just connects to your cell phone and your cell phone will tell you what your glucose level is. It's absolutely amazing. But the ultimate goal is to do a 365-day implant. And right now they got a 90-day out. They're about to get a 180-day, it looks like. But you can kind of see what happens here. So this was the big run up early in the year. We'll ignore that. But this is what happened when they got their approval for the 90-day. I mean, we jumped from, I didn't even know if this was the approval because I think it may have been a buy the hype, sell the news event. But anyway, the point is, it closed here at $2.05 and then ran up to over $4 in like just over a week. It basically doubled in price in just over a week. So right now, I mean, we expect FDA approval in a few weeks and we're not getting any run up at all. So we're certainly not going to have a buy the hype, sell the news event. That's for sure. But if the markets turn bullish, I could absolutely see this thing getting to, $4, $5, $6 in a week. So we may end up having to do some very small call options on this. I don't want to go too heavy, but I think call options would be a good idea on SCNS. So thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Let's see what else we got. Question, do you do high dividend stocks? I do dividend stocks. I try to keep the high dividend stocks to a minimum. Just because a lot of the quote unquote high dividend stocks are very volatile. They either don't pay their dividends out very often or the stock price just chinks. Like one that I like is VALE. You can see the dividend yield on this is 18%. But the last time they paid out a dividend right here, this was the cum div date. This was the ex div date. And so on the cum div date, it closed at $16.42. On the ex div date, it dropped all the way down to $14.82. So to give you an idea how much it dropped, this thing dropped from 1642 to 1482. It was a drop of 9.7% in one day. And then it just, which is fine. I mean, you get 18% dividend, but then it just kept dropping. I mean, this thing bottomed out at $11. I held, I never sold, but now we're back up to $14 again. But as you can see, even at the current price of $14.81, we are still well below the cum div from the last dividend. So this is the problem with the really high dividend stocks is you don't always make up the money for the dividend. It's not always worth it. Still, I'm not giving up a stock that's got an 18% dividend. So you like it, just know that the higher the dividend, the riskier the stock. Let's see what else. Anybody got a lot of stuff on? Looks like a bunch of repeats here. I explained hawkish and dovish in a prior video a couple days ago. Basically, it's just think about a bird. Like a dove is very quiet, very reserved, doesn't really do anything, doesn't want to draw attention to itself. A hawk is out there, it's a predator, it's just going to go for it. So when you compare that to the Fed, dovish means the Fed is going to be quiet, reserved. They're not going to raise interest rates. They're not going to sell their assets. They're not going to do anything to kind of upset the markets. Hawkish is the complete opposite. They're going to be out there, they're going to raise interest rates and sell their assets and go after inflation. So that's basically what that means. Anything else we got? More than one question on. Markets rise or fall tomorrow. I have no clue. No clue what the markets are going to do tomorrow or Tuesday or Wednesday. Or I think we might have got a little bit of green on Tuesday from Jerome Powell speaking, but outside of that, I have no clue. The bear markets are extremely difficult to predict. Extremely difficult. Okay, let's get into some crypto here now. I think we've talked about stocks enough. So ETH, so here's the deal with the crypto, man. I actually bought some yesterday. Here's why. Let me kind of show you what's going on. So I bought Bitcoin. And if you look just on the daily chart, you can see how Bitcoin kind of hit this really strong support level. This level, by the way, it is, if I zoom out. So we had this resistance here, a little bit here, and then it was support back here, support here, support here. So clearly a strong support level, even though we do have a stronger one down at 31.5 or so, 32,000. But this is still a really strong support level. So even though I don't know if we're really going to rebound, we might just like rebound to 46.5 and then keep going down. But at least short term, this is looking pretty darn bullish. And then if you look at the 1 hour, which is what I was really looking at, kind of hard to tell here because we're definitely, kind of bottomed out. But right here, last night we got last night. Or no, it may have been over here. I can't recall. But somewhere in here, I bought some BTC at around 41 something because I saw the bullishness and I'm like, you know what? This is it. We're finally going to get there. And even though it's come back down a little bit, it's kind of trading flat. We still do on the 4 hour, we can see the rise. And on the daily chart, we can see the rise. So I actually bought some for a short swing back up to 46.5. If you look at Ethereum, you got the exact same thing. We got a nice bounce right here off 300-day EMA, and it looks like we're rising back up. But not everything. Here's Dogecoin. Still remains a falling knife. Here's Shiba Inu, got its bounce. MATAC, Polygon, it got its bounce. Cardano is also a falling knife. So you really got to kind of pick and choose. But as far as Ethereum, I think we got our bounce. And I think we'll probably get a rise back up to around $3,500. After that, who knows? All right, so let's crypto. All right, I've seen a few comments about PayPal. You said last update, PayPal was a bit ago, do an update. So let's ask about PYPL because I got a few people asked. So PYPL is, funny enough, looking a lot like Bitcoin. So we get the drop down and then we hit the support level and we hold. We're holding support. However, technically this is really neutral. Really neutral. You're at almost 50 on the RSI, which is neutral. You're almost 0 on the MACD, which is neutral. And this thing is just bouncing around the candles, like, up one day, down one day, up one day, down one. I mean, this thing is flat, flat, flat. Now, I will tell you that when stocks trade flat for a long time, that's a great time to buy options because implied volatility is super low. So if you expect to break out on PYPL, either to the upside or the downside, now would be a great time to buy options. Fundamentals, price to sales of 10, price to earnings of 40. So still, it's reasonable. It's not a value stock by any means, but it's reasonable. The other thing I do want to remind you of is that when it comes to fintech stocks like PayPal or Square, these are not banking stocks. They will not rise like the banks will. So just keep that in mind. This is not a banking stock. They did not make their money through loans. You're not going to get a rise as interest rates rise. So just keep that in mind of fintech stocks. All right. Let's see what else we got here. one stock in liquor. I don't know. I have no clue what stocks are in liquor. Just think about your beer stocks. I think there's a Boston Beer or a Samuel Adams. Is that? Yeah, Boston Beer, ticker SAM. So there you go. There's one beer stock, one liquor stock, if you will. And I mean, wow, this thing had quite the dip. I mean, this thing's all dipped all the way down to March 2020 levels. So, well, you know what? Look at that rise. That's insane. But a lot of this rise, again, you're thinking things are bad. People are going to drink beer. And then, you got to get back down to reality at some point. But just take a look at the fundamentals real fast. P of 100. This thing is still stupid expensive. Price to sales of 3. Yeah, this thing is still stupid expensive. This thing needs to drop in price by like another 60, 70% before I'd be a buyer. But I don't know. Maybe they're growing. Oh, wow. Yeah, their growth rates were pretty good. 40, 70%. That's their cash flow. Sorry. Wrong thing. Okay, so 25, 30%. But look at their earnings. 73% rise in earnings year over year. How are they doing in the quarter? Slowing down. They're definitely slowing growth. Wow, what happened last quarter? It's crazy. All right, clearly the stock was just pumped up like crazy, and then reality set in and it's tanking. So I don't know where it's going to bottom out, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it get to 400 or less. I have no idea why this thing's so expensive. But there you go. There's a liquor stock. I haven't looked into it. I don't know what's going on with it, but there's a liquor stock for you. Let's see. Greetings from the UK. Welcome from the UK. SOFI, this is going to be the exact same story as PayPal. Obviously it's down right now with everything else. It's not a banking stock. It's not going to rise back up like a banking stocks. Below all the EMAs, super bearish. MACD is about to form death cross, super bearish. Fundamentally, that's right. So if I didn't have brand new, so I don't even have any earnings. I have no idea what's going on with fundamentals. No clue. We'll see. But the one thing I did notice about SOFI is if we were to see this point it dropped down to here, but since then the lowest it got was about 1366. Even on that day, the low was $13.14. So what I was kind of looking at, I was like, if you go back all the way back to December of 2020, this thing never dropped below $13 again after this day. It never dropped below $13 ever. So that's why in the $1 Million Challenge portfolio, we have a credit bull put spread for $13. So if SOFI closes at or above $13 by expiration, which is I think it's this week or next week, we're going to make money on SOFI. So I'm in it, at least for the belief that it's not going to drop below $13. For a long-term hold, anything, 13, anything below $14 is cheap. That's all I'm going to say about that one. Diabetic stock name again, SENS, Senseonics. That was the diabetic one. All right, got that up on the screen for you. SCNS, Senseonics. There's your diabetic stock. Should you open an account with IRA with Webull? I don't know. Ask your financial advisor. I can't help you out with that. Yeah, guys, emails. My apologies. If you guys sent me an email at any point in the last 3-4 days, I have not had time to check my emails. Friday, I spent literally the entire day trying to get the coaching program set up, and of course dealing with hundreds of issues technology-wise with that. Saturday and Sunday, I have literally spent this entire weekend. I don't even know how many hours I've worked. Probably 20 hours or 25 hours. I don't know. I literally spent all of Saturday and Sunday researching the stock that I'm going to talk about Monday at 2 p.m. It's it was just the papers on that was mad. I put a photo up on Twitter. It's like 64 pages of research I went through trying to research that thing. So unfortunately, I just haven't had time to get your emails, but I'll try to get caught up on Monday. All right, so wow, from Nepal. Well, welcome from Nepal. Having a party over there, I see. Awesome. Yeah, we can talk about these. I got to wrap it up here because we're coming up on our hour. But we can look at these two. I mean, obviously, right off the bat, these two are going to perform with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So RIOT, surprisingly, oh no, that's not RIOT. Where's RIOT? Here's RIOT. RIOT, yeah, doing worse than MARA. It usually does. MARA usually performs better. Right now, I mean, just on the technicals, this thing is ultra bearish. Although we do have support at $28.50. We'll see if it can hold it or not. But, you know, if Bitcoin, if Ethereum and all those rebound, these should rebound as well. So long as they keep falling, these are going to keep falling. I do know MARA is adding a lot of mining machines, which is going to increase their profits. Clearly, that's not being priced in right now. So who knows? I mean, this could be a good stock, but still trading at a premium. Price to earnings of 129. Price to sales of 532. Yikes. 100 times more expensive than a value stock. All right. This thing, yeah, MARA would have to drop down to $2 to get into value territory. So just heads up on that. Yeah, Chris, appreciate it. Really appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Really do appreciate you. Oil stocks, I don't know. I don't know that much about oil stocks. All I know is obviously oil is running up with inflation, but you know, if more oil production comes in or whatever, I don't know anything about oil stocks. I'm sorry. I can't really talk about it. I don't think oil is just running up from inflation. I think that's, again, one of those things that people are going to keep buying no matter how expensive it gets. So maybe it'll keep going up, but I don't know. I know there's a lot of other factors that go into oil beyond just demand. Can we take a look at the 10-year bond yield? Sure. Let me go ahead and pull it up. There we go. So 10-year at 1.76. Really? It's that high? Wow. Okay. That's pretty high. That's another reason why your stocks are dropping, especially NASDAQ. But your question is, it's through their room. It's through their room. I don't know what you mean by that. If you're asking, can it go higher? Well, of course. I mean, let's just go back to, well, I don't need to go back that far. Let's see. I mean, prior to the pandemic, we were up around, you know, twos. Obviously, as the Fed raises interest rates, it's going to keep going. You know, 2008, we were around 2, 3, 4s. I remember those days. I was actually working for Merrill Lynch back in those days. And well, that was a fun time, working for an investment bank during a huge recession. Yeah, literally like half the guys I worked with got laid off. That was awful. But anyway, yeah, it looks to me like we're just starting our rebound, our turnarounds. This thing looks to me like we are at our bottom, and now we got it rising due to inflation, and we're just going to keep on rising as interest rates rise. I don't see it going down. I mean, I don't know what it's going to do day to day, but longer term, I don't see it going down. All right. A lot of these other questions we've already talked about before. So if you guys need to, you guys can rewatch the replay. That should pretty much answer all the questions that are remaining. Just double check. Okay, I think that's going to end it here. We've pretty much covered all your questions and everything. Just one final reminder as far as the channel. Obviously, we got a new website here, stockcurry.vip. You guys can go check that out. Anything you want to know about me, it'll be over there on Stock Curry VIP. You can find links to the YouTube. I only have some free courses right now, but if you want to take some free courses, you can. Coaching program will be starting in a few days. Don't sign up yet. Resources are, articles and just some research tools and videos, things like that. Trading platforms. If you guys want like free stocks, free crypto, you can go view the trading platforms. A link to my Twitter, a link to my Rumble, another YouTube channel that I haven't gotten started on yet, but once things calm down here a little bit, I'll start putting some videos up there. My story. So everything you want to know about me is over there on the new website. It's stockcurry.vip. If you're not currently following me on Twitter, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. It's twitter.com/realscottcurry. And if you're not subscribed on YouTube, I don't even know what you're doing, but get over there and subscribe. youtube.com/stockcurry. But when you are on YouTube, I want to show this, guys, to you because a lot of people don't know this. So if you are over on YouTube and you are, I can't do it here. Let me go to this guy. If you're on YouTube and you are subscribed, you will not get notified just because you're subscribed. There's this little bell icon here that you have to click. I'm going to see if I can get this bigger. So you see this little bell icon here? You have to click that and you got to click all. If you don't click the bell icon and you don't click all, you're not going to get notified even if you're subscribed. It's like subscribing doesn't even do anything. So if you're subscribed, go to the YouTube channel and just make sure you got that bell icon and all clicked. Otherwise, you're not going to get notified of, really any videos. And then, like I said, Rumble, you can go subscribe over there. If you just don't like YouTube for some reason, it's rumble.com/stockcurry. And I cross-post all the YouTube videos over there. And then if you guys want the Discord, it's either the free Discord, we prop a day and night. You can go to stockcurry.vip/Discord. Or if you want the paid Discord, you can do stockcurry.vip/Discord also. If you want all of my free training, it is at stockcurryeducation.com. So you can go to stockcurryeducation.com and I'll pull up the courses. Right now I got 3 free courses for you guys. So if you want to take some courses and, whatever you want to learn, they're all free. You guys can head on over there. Okay, that's going to do it. I thank you guys so much for joining us today. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe and click the bell icon, click all. I hope you guys have a lot of success trading, and I will see you at 2 p.m.